For me, it's quite simple why we lost today's game. Everton clearly wanted this game more than us. And it was so evident on the field, you guys. They were hungrier. They were more aggressive. Their intensity was too much for us. Look at the way they were, pressing. Look at the way they were winning their second balls as well too. Today, they brought those cup final vibes. They knew exactly what was needed. Even their fans knew it as well too, from constantly harassing the referee and just bending the referee's weak mentality and weak mind to their whims. So them just launching fireworks like crazy late last night to try and disrupt the players, they knew exactly what they had to bring today. And to be honest, we just could not compete. We had some moments of genuine quality, because when you have good players, of course you can expect that to happen. But in terms of like sustained quality and sustained danger, it really wasn't there. And honestly, in that second half, when Everton, of course, made it 1-0 very early on in the second half, they had numerous counter-attacking chances to really seal this game and make it a much more comfortable win for them, which they probably deserved today. And it's quite disappointing. For me, I do want to mention this point. I feel like I haven't seen any improvement with how the players understand Tuchel's system. There's been none in over 12 months. I feel like the way we're ending this season is kind of mirroring how we were ending last season. And I think it just really is emphasizing how we've plateaued. And I feel like we plateaued because of like the framework, the ideas of how we're supposed to break teams down. And of course, because of that, we're not really seeing the players improving individually and taking their games to another level. Other than maybe a handful, the bare minimum handful of players this season, it's not been enough for many guys who are on big wages and big contracts. And, personally today, I feel like I looked at Lampards and he looked like a guy that knew exactly who to target in this team and who to expose their weaknesses. Like, is there any surprise that Aspie got caught on the ball? It's not the first time that he has been susceptible to this. I feel like personally he's starting to show his age a bit more. And, of course it brings up interesting conversations like, the fact that he was so entrusted upon again for this season, even though he was kind of already showing signs of like his, ability maybe going down a tiny bit. Unsurprisingly, it was him that makes a mistake today that costs us the game. But I'm not going to blame him solely. I feel like, you kind of been left to expose out there a little bit as well too. And, Lampard knows exactly who those players were today to target, who to press high, and who to be aggressive against. And, now I'm hoping it's fairly obvious now that we've plateaued in general. We need fresh ideas, new ideas now, new players as well now to bring a new form, a new intensity. That's the only way now to get out of this rut, because we're a lot closer to trying to compete for a Champions League spot compared to competing to win the Premier League title. And 12 months later, after how much money's been spent as well too, there hasn't been any real improvement in the overall footballing ability of this team. And I think for me that's the most disappointing thing, because I'd imagine some of you guys might be thinking, Nini, like, let's not act now like ultimately it's not due to the players Tuchel has to work with. And listen, I'm 100% in agreement. Thomas Tuchel is a lot more than this back three system that we see. The guy's done a lot more. You guys have watched him at Dortmund, at Paris Saint-Germain. When more suited players come, you're going to see an evolution, and we're all excited for that. Let's keep things real. But even though managers' jobs are hard, they have to constantly find workarounds with like what they're left to work with. I've just always personally felt like there could have been more done from Tuchel. Like, for example, when we played against Real Madrid in the second leg, the way we played with a lot more bravery, the way we played and approached that game. We nearly won that. We got 3 goals, 70 minutes. We were like, what, 10, 50 minutes away from securing history in that moment. And that tells you that Tuchel knows exactly what he can do to help turn that threat factor up another level. And today, when I'm seeing like the same old pivot making sideways passes most of the times, every now and then a few breakaways on the midfield, but mostly just sideways passes, slow tempo, crosses inside the box and predictable final third entries and plays. I just feel like personally, after seeing what the issues are, more should be done. And listen, if that means that we have to concede a few more goals because we have to be a bit more open to have more men inside the box and have more attacking presence, my God, so be it, man. So be it. I'm not out here saying approach Man City and Liverpool games with this type of like recklessness. No, when we have to attack, we can show we can get back into games. I just don't understand why it's not like a solution now against teams that park the bus and defend deep. Like, does it even have to be a back three like that, really? With some of the guys we have in the team that can bring some of that creativity we need. The fact that someone like a Ziyech This guy is a very creative man. The fact that we never see him play and don't take no advantage of his loop-through balls over the top, what's that really telling me about how the manager approaches how he wants his teams to play? It tells me that it's more about safety first. It's about not conceding, not about being caught in the transition more than prioritizing, looking to create solid opportunities and opportunities on a more regular basis. That's what that tells me. And if Tuchel only feels comfortable when he really has like a midfielder or other players in the team more suited, then I get it. And let's hope that's the case. But I'm always going to think personally that a bit more could have been done today. I'm looking at things where, like, I feel like we look quite tired at times. I mean, the same old players are being used, in consecutive games when we have a squad that should be utilised, and they're still not being utilised. Barely seeing Pulisic or Ziyech or Lukaku or others. Then it's kind of like, like, what's actually happening now? I feel like third is what we are. We're the third best team in the country. I think that's as far as Tuchel can take us with this current squad. Let's hope that in the summer, when new owners come in and they're making statements, because that's what new ownership brings. It brings statement signings. It brings statement windows. Then I'm really going to judge things more on a critical basis. But even though I have all my qualms, which I'm very open about discussing and talking about, it's not like anywhere at a level where I'll ever be like Tuchel out and I don't like the guy, because you got to understand what the limits are that he's working with. But still though, you guys, just disappointing that it was yet again another game where it's just like slow tempo and predictability. We had some decent moments throughout today. I'm looking at Loftus-Cheek. He had this great long shot outside the box, left foot. Maybe, you know what? Let me talk about some of the positives at least. I don't want to make this review completely negative, you guys. I think for me, positives today would probably be like Mason and probably be Ruben. I thought Ruben today, having that license to break the lines a lot more, once he shows that Cruyff turn, once he turns the paces up, once the acceleration goes, once he's using his strength alongside his powerful strides and close control too, he's a very hard player to stop. And I felt like, he showed a lot of threat today, really increased the tempo of our play, which was good. And for me, he's just showing that he's an amazing squad player to have. And he's one of those squad players that will try to fight to always be a first team player, which is always going to keep everyone on their toes. And then the personalities you want. Mason Mount, yet again, as per, is the main creative and main like attacking influence in the team. I thought his shots today, ambitious and showed a lot of technique. He had like this curling effort outside the box, which hit the roof of the net, which is unlucky. Had an amazing half-volley chance where it's like, how many players in our team are even attempting a shot like that and have the quality to pull that off? And how unlucky to hit both posts and then not even bounce off and rebound onto the goalkeeper to go in the net. But Mount today, the times he was able to drop deep, receiving the half turn, we were able to play between the lines a bit more. And I feel like that type of player is what I want to see more. And I feel like we have the players that can find solutions against these, the smaller teams that defend with so much aggressiveness and defend very deep. And the fact that, all this time later, there's been no real improvement at all against this, for me, is pretty disappointing, because you can't tell me that the players that you possess are not of that type of level where they can't translate what you want to break teams. I just think maybe the instructions that are being given to them just aren't all that makes them that effective against these teams. Still, we had some decent chances that we could have taken more advantage of. Kai Havertz had another header. I don't know what's happened to Kai's heading ability recently, but it's really gone downhill. And I think his form in general too has gone downhill a bit. Now, Kai is a player that I really appreciate too. You guys know on this channel that I felt like he's obviously made harder a lot of times over these past 18 months due to like playing in so many different roles and, being in and out of the team, etc, etc. And having to play a forward role that I don't feel necessarily complements his full skill set, to be honest. But another reality I've seen with the player is that he hasn't had enough consistent form since he signed for us. The little golden spell he had during I think in January to March, that 2-month spell was good. But so far, that's all I'm really seeing from Havertz since we've signed him. Moments of like a great 1 month or 2 months, and that's kind of much it. And maybe Tuchel could be doing more to get more out from Kai Havertz, but with the opportunity he's been given, it's been disappointing that the finishing prints ain't been there. Not making the wrong errors when it comes to not releasing players in quickly behind enough. Slowing down the play at times. Not escaping as a man to find himself inside the box, and when he's getting inside the box, not connecting properly with some of the chances being made for him. That could possibly be due to being played so much. Of course, you know, playing intense football like this, but you're running over, you know, 10 kilometers a game. That's going to take a toll on you. And it just brings up more interesting questions that, you know, why is he playing so much, where maybe possibly fatigue could be impacting this game currently, where we have solutions on the bench that ain't been playing. That is my thing, you know. It feels like it's gone back to last season, where like lampards, you know, under previous management, he relied upon the youth guys more, which came to the detriment of the senior guys who have really livid at the time. And I feel like maybe Tuchel, I'm seeing a bit of parallels in the sense that, you know, this first team is only really created for like a set amount of players. There's others that can't really compete in it, and it feels like we're not getting anything from them. We're not even utilizing the qualities they can bring, because we're so fixated on just maintaining the style of football we play. But let's hope that with new ownership now, you know, they're seeing the issues in the team. They're seeing that windows are very important. Not only help the managers more by allowing them to, you know, improve what they're doing and improve their methodologies and stuff like that, but also to realize that, you know, windows are supposed to improve the quality and upgrade teams. You're looking at Liverpool and Man City, when they're signing players, they're bringing a quality that is improving their teams overall. With us, too often, windows are taking us a level back all the time. And it's very expensive, it's wasting a lot of money, it's forcing us to make decisions where we're flogging off a lot of long-term potential and talent to prioritize a short term that's not bringing the quality that's expected of them, because the planning and the details wasn't saved. Because I feel like we can be more than just a third place team and a cup team. So you guys, on that note, disappointing loss today. I guess maybe expected, to be honest with you. And I guess on that note, I'm going to wrap things up, keep things moving. There is going to be a news video out after this video, so stay tuned. And on that note, I'm the EFC, this is Blue Lions TV. Catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.